Right, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We're back to our webinar Wednesdays, we can say, and today I'm very happy to be joined by Dinara and Umang from Londonists. That's it for my introduction. We're basically going to be speaking about taking care of students and the importance of sharing information, especially during this time of crisis when everyone is a little bit confused with regards to what's happening, what should we do, so on and so forth. So I'm going to leave it up to Umang to give us an overview of what Londonist does for those who are not maybe too familiar with it. And maybe Umang, you can also tell us a little bit about your role at Londonist.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. Firstly, before I start, good morning from London and good afternoon or good evening from wherever you're watching. Firstly, I'd just like to say a big thank you to schools and agents for having us on a live webinar. Obviously, it's a fantastic thing that you're doing. So firstly, thank you, Lynn, and also Bernice for the opportunity. So yeah, my name is Umang. I'm head of sales at Londonist. I've been at Londonist now for, well, going close to 3 years now. So I'm looking after the sales team and obviously all the strategies at Londonist. So yeah, just a little bit about Londonist, those that don't know. So, you know, Londonist is a student accommodation agency. We're based in central London, and we've been operating since 2013. And we provide our clients with short-term and long-term accommodation from 2 weeks up to 51 weeks. So currently we have 24 locations in central London with stylish ensuite rooms and also studio rooms. So we've got fantastic locations all over London for students, such as Spitalfields, King's Cross, Highbury, Islington. We also have our Lewisham residences, which is very close to Greenwich. And then we have also the west side of London, which is Portobello as well. So we've got a vast array of accommodations, which is great. And then Londonist also offers extra services for students, you know, insurance, kitchen packs, bathroom packs as well. And we also did open our offices in Turkey and also in Shanghai. So currently Londonist has 3 offices globally, which has been a great development for the company.
Okay, thank you. Dinara, would you like to add something to that? Sure. And maybe tell us about you?
Sure. Good afternoon to everyone, and thank you, Lynn and Bernice, for this opportunity for Londonist to speak today. It's actually great to have this community and to share our insights and inputs in these unprecedented times. Yes, my name is Dinara, and I'm a Russian sales area manager at Londonist. So over the years, we have been cultivating our network of agents, and we understand that accommodation is a service-based product. And therefore, we have our network or market, and we understand that each market is different and its own characteristics. The US market is different, for example, from LATAM market. And our business model is based on collaboration with London-based language schools, with universities, with overseas agents, and we work with platforms very closely, and with overseas students and direct students as well.
Okay, great. So obviously the big question that everyone is asking, and also the reason why we're here today, is because we're all stuck inside. So we'd like to get some ideas, and maybe you can tell us, Dinara, how is Londonist handling this COVID-19 situations, and maybe if you have any suggestions for what businesses should be doing in as you said, in these unprecedented times.
Absolutely. This is actually an unprecedented situation because it's not one way destination affected, but the whole world. And exactly. To assess for health and safety measures, reinforced health and safety measures with our residence team on site.
Okay.
And of course, our lines of communication open, and with our agents, we have our live chat open. We have out of hours emergency contact. So keep our rooms prepared in case our agents have to move students at short notice. And of course, especially our live chat has been of great help, and it was quite busy during this time. It covers actually almost all time zones, and we have our team in Shanghai and in Istanbul, as Oman has mentioned earlier.
Okay.
And in that sense, of course, we also have our QR code. So we install QR code plate in every room. So whenever the student has any questions or they need to address an issue, they just simply scan the QR code. They can even attach pictures, and then we receive all the information, and our operations team takes an action.
Okay, that's excellent. Obviously, I mean, the more support or the more communication companies, businesses, schools, students can get, the better. Umang, is there anything else you'd like to add to what Dinara mentioned?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, thank you, Dina. I mean, completely agree with what Dina says. I mean, having been born in London myself, I've been through the whole UK education system, and UK has a great history for support and care for the students. And then Lynn, of course, it's an unfortunate situation globally, and then obviously we pray for everyone. But the first stage for us at Londonist was the student experience. That experience has always been the key for us. So obviously, with experience comes the safety of the students. Because that's all part of them coming to London. So what we found is obviously we found that many students wanted to go back to their country. They did get in contact with us, and we wanted them to go back to their country in a safe way. That was the most important part for us. And as we touched on, we've got a great database and great partners globally. Lynn, we've met in Berlin before, and then we've met in many places. And as you know, we've got great partners globally. So the first stage for us operationally was to basically, obviously, we were taking in guidelines from the government because we couldn't actually touch base with our residences due to social distancing. So what we did was we contacted every single one of our students. So obviously, we actually couldn't touch base with every student because some of them were flying, some of them didn't answer the phone. It was kind of a panic situation. So the second step was either to get in touch with their agencies, but at Londonist, we take all guarantor details. So we take the parent details or next of kin. So that's really important, to have that data on our system. So we really wanted to find out who had left, who was still inside, and what was happening. And then, I mean, with our providers, we're working with some great providers. I mean, our main provider is obviously we work with Chapter, IQ, Stay Club as well. And then the site team cooperation was fantastic during this period. I couldn't say enough for the support they've given us. And, I mean, we also had some NHS students during this NHS kind of workers during this time, and they reached out to us and they said, would you be able to, my commute is really far from my home, and I need to get into central London, and then will Londonist be able to help me? Because we most of our rooms are in zone 1 or zone 2, which is perfect locations to these hospitals. So during this period, we did help some NHS staff as well during this period, which is really quite important. So our suggestion for businesses is that obviously, yes, business is important, but at the end of the day, we're going through a collective time together during this period in the whole world, and like we did discuss, many people are losing lives, so we wanted to give that support not only to our students but to the wider community who was also in the UK.
Yeah, agreed. I agree. Dinar, I don't know if you wanted to add something to what Umang said.
Yeah, sure. We're also concerned about mental health of our students, and we are trying to keep positive engagement as well. So, for example, every Friday we have a live performance of our beautiful singer. So she sings a song for students. So, in that sense, we are concerned about mental health of our students. And of course, student residences offer great opportunity for outdoor exercise. They have outdoor areas, and we've been carefully monitoring the government advice from the first weeks and health and safety and safeguards as well.
Okay, that's great. So, Dinara, over and above what you already mentioned, are there any other measures that you as Londonists have taken on to really try to help students and maybe your partners as well, your business partners as well?
Yeah, sure. We understand that affordability is a question at the moment, and students have affordability issues currently. So we are trying to help them by offering, for example, 2 weeks free. And we also be in touch with every student who left early. But the main concern at the moment is the students that are currently in our residence, and we are concerned about their well-being and safety.
Okay, okay, that's obviously very important.
Yes, and we also like to point out that we are, because Londonist is a part of Trade Association UK Inbound of English UK, and
Okay,
we better, and we have been in touch constantly. We want to say big thanks for hosting webinars for these associations, because that was absolutely fantastic community to share inputs, and Londonist
yeah.
regularly take place in that webinars, and we are following all the advice, and that's great to have this community in times of crisis, of course. And the update that we have, we do understand there may be some a number of shifts in social distancing in future as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think this is a very important message that I know you wanted to bring out as well, the importance of community, of sharing information, and of really trying to help each other. Because, yes, as Umang also said earlier on, business, sales, they're all very important. We understand that as well. But ultimately, I think if we push through together, we can get it much more quickly, I would say. So, Umang, so those people who are
Yeah,
following
Lynn, if I
us,
just may add, I mean, like,
of course.
yeah, sorry, I just wanted to add that, I mean, obviously, like I mentioned before, the communication between Londonists and the students was so key, I mean, that was our main priority because, Lynn, as you know, I travel a lot to Asia, and then before this kind of COVID spread to Europe and like the rest of the world, I was living in Shanghai, as you know, we got our office there, and then obviously I'm heading up that office, and then I was in Taiwan and in Thailand in early Feb. So we kind of saw some things coming, so we kind of, not predicted, but we could see that something could happen, and then, like I said, we got 24 locations. So, if you can imagine running 24 different locations with a lot of students is actually quite a big job operationally, because it's not, we don't have just one residence,
Exactly.
And as Londonists, we manage everything in-house. So like the turnovers of the room, the check-ins, check-outs, we kind of process everything from our database and our system. So, I mean, like Dina said, there was many students that left and they had their belongings in the room. So we did kind of assist and help these students, and then we did offer new campaigns such as, get 2 weeks free of your accommodation, or extend your stay for a discounted rate, or even keep your belongings in the room. So this was a really key and important time. But I can see now over these last 5 to 6 weeks, we're kind of navigating ourselves kind of away from what's happening. Because like we mentioned, the UK is getting better now, which is really, really great for the industry and also for humanity as well.
In general, yeah, agreed. And yes, they're all, I mean, you really have to be inventive and really try to see, and resourceful to really see what you have as a business and what you can do to help those around you. So I think what you've been doing is great, and I'm sure that the people watching can also head over to your social media pages and also see all of these campaigns. Just a quick bracket for who's watching, we will also be sharing all of this, and we'll be sharing posts tagging Londonist's page. So you make sure you're obviously on the right one when you're checking out the information that these two lovely people here are sharing with us. So speaking about locations, Umang, so I'll go back to what you were saying. You said you have 24 locations. Can you quickly maybe pinpoint which locations in the UK and maybe outside of the UK do you work with, so that those watching can also know who can benefit basically from the services that you offer?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said earlier, I mean, we have and also long-term stays. So having short-term accommodation is so important, not only for the current academic year, but for the next academic year. Because what we find with what's happened, a lot of students have been a bit wary of getting into long-term contracts. They're really looking for that short-term niche where Londonist can provide that, which is really important. And in terms of our locations, as I said, I mean, we've got really great locations. Then the way we kind of chose our locations was quite strategic. We wanted to place them close to the language schools, close to universities, because at the end of the day, there's two main things the students are looking for. Number one is kind of ease of transport. How long will it take to get to their uni or school? A lot of students want quite easy access, whether it's either walking or by underground. And obviously, second is like budget. There's loads of different budgets depending on where you're coming from or anything. So yeah, I mean, our most iconic residence is probably our Spitalfields residence. Around that area, Shoreditch is a very vibrant area for students. It's very arty. It's got a lot of great kind of social places for students. And then we've also got great options like in Zone 2, such as Islington, Highbury, and we've got our new building in Highbury 2, which was built, just recently. We've got Stapley, we've got Camden and Kentish Town, which is really famous areas. Portobello always stands out because I think, from Notting Hill, the movie, a lot of students keep that in their mind. So yeah, in terms of our locations, we've got fantastic locations. And then for next year, Lynn, I'm not sure if you've seen on our social media pages, but we did expand to Dublin as well.
Yeah.
So, Dublin has always been on the radar for us. Dublin is a great city. I don't know, have you been before, Lynn, yourself, to Dublin?
Yes, we had an event there last year before Berlin. We were there very briefly, but it's obviously a beautiful city.
Yeah, it's a great city, and then I've been keeping an eye on Dublin quite a lot, and just seeing the trends in this, the students going to Dublin, and then what I found really over for my research with Dublin is that the average weeks booked in Dublin was around 6 weeks. So there's really like a short-term niche. There's a short-term niche in Dublin. London's quite mixed. There's normal long-term academic years going to unis, but Dublin's quite different. And Dublin's a great city. They got Trinity College Dublin there. That's got the same kind of reputation as say like an Oxford or Cambridge. I was just in Dublin in January actually, and then fantastic city. The people are great. I think very vibrant city. So yeah, that's why we've kind of expanded there, because obviously there's a lot of language schools there as well. And then there's a big market for the short-term accommodation there. So yeah, for the next academic year, we've also expanded to Dublin, which is a great kind of position for Londonists at the moment.
Okay. So Dinara, back to you. First and foremost, is there anything else you'd like to add with regards to patients, to what Umang was telling us right now?
Yes, sure. So in terms of our portfolio, I would like to add that while majority of rentals offered fixed rental, fixed term contracts like 23, 36 weeks or 51, and that's in London now because we offer flexible tenancies. And also our extension process is quite straightforward. And we can see that what is the demand in the accommodation market. Students are asking questions about gym and facilities in the residence. They would like to have in-house events, and we are happy to say that all our residences offer these facilities. We have social and space to socialize. And in terms of mental health, of course, it's quite important.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, just to add on to what you two were saying, Bernice, my business partner, has just posted a message for anyone who's watching that we have recently also published an article about Dublin. So there's the link over there, and there will obviously be a link that will take you to the Londonist page. So if anyone is watching, you can head over when we're done to the website, see the article, and then also get in touch with Londonist. I was also looking at a question that has just come up. Dinara, maybe you can answer this, or then Umang can help out if needs be. Someone asked us, how can I become a member of what Londonist is doing? Dinara, is there some sort of membership? This person is an agent. How can agents become members or get in touch with you, start working with you? What's the process?
Yeah, sure. We are always much interested to work with overseas agents because what we offer in terms of facilities, and we're also concerned about agent reputation, and we are showing our product. So to join our agent network is quite easy. We just need to get in contact and to work out to figure out the strategy, how we can work together. So kind of academic students or short-term students will be coming through this agent, so we can tailor our accommodation products accordingly.
Okay, that's great. Umang, is there anywhere they can get in touch with you through the website, email addresses? Is there a contact form on the website? I'm just asking for those who haven't been on the website and don't know how it's done up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've just got a newly reconstructed website, which is really easy. The agents can fill out a form, and then we'll receive that form, and then we can obviously get in touch with the agent. But yeah, we're always open to work with agents. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we've really expanded globally. We've got, like I said, we mentioned offices, but this year we were really focusing on the South American market. So we did visit, Brazil,
Nice.
Colombia, Mexico as well. And then obviously Dina's looking after the Russia and CIS. So we've got multilingual staff at Londonist, which is great. I think in the office, we speak around 22 different languages. Myself, I speak 3. I think Dina speaks obviously Russian and English as well, and Turkish. She's quite good at Turkish. So Lynn, this is quite important because, dealing with different markets, many students, we're not just dealing with students at Londonist, a lot of the times the parents also want to speak to us. They want to know about, say, the safety, the security of the residences. And some of them can't speak English. And then having multilingual staff really gives them that security and safety to come to London. Because at the end of the day, we've got, say, for example, people booking from Thailand, but they've never been to London. And then they get that sense of security when you can speak their own language and obviously communicate to them in a different way. So yeah, we're multilingual, which is really important, I think, in this industry.
It is extremely important, and I agree. I mean, even if people understand English, it's always much nicer and much more comforting, I would say, when they can hear it in their own language in a way they would truly understand. Following on this, 2 persons who are this video have also asked for your contact information. Just to answer that question myself, I'll also be adding the email addresses where you can contact Londonist as well as Umang and Dinara. As soon as we finish this video, I'll be typing them in. So just keep following the video post on our Facebook page and you'll get the information there. If you can't find it, I'm just giving you a plan B. If you can't find it, you can also send us a message on the Schools and Agents page and we'll just pass on the contact information over there as well. Okay, so for those who are asking for contact information, we'll be sharing that as soon as everything is completed over here. Now, moving on to something else, Dinara, I'm going to be asking you. You know that our following is schools and agent members mainly. So you've mentioned quite a couple of incentives and things that you have taken on, especially during this COVID-19 situation. How can these incentives help the people who are following us? So we've spoken, yes, about students, and we can definitely see how students can benefit from this. Can you explain to those agents, to those school representatives that are watching, how they can benefit, how they can make use of these incentives?
Yeah, sure. We understand that in these circumstances of uncertainty, we are trying to help our agents. And this is why we have free cancellation policy, which are currently extending as well. So students can change the dates or cancel the booking. And in that sense, we are helping our agents greatly. We're also keeping in touch with them because we believe that this is the time actually as well to stay connected. And thanks to, for example, Study Travel hosted recently Alfito mini online events. So we were able to speak to our agents, to keep in touch, and to share, at this moment, to share marketing campaign together to reassure students that businesses are able, that we support each other, and we are here to help them.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else from your end, Umang, on how schools and agents can benefit from your incentives?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Dina. I mean, like Dina mentioned, I think a lot of the offers that we've offered, flexible payment dates, some great offers for the students has really incentivized their agents to kind of, push the bookings, because at the moment, obviously there was kind of a standstill with students just seeing what's happening with the UK, what's happening with what's like, what prices are going on. But with our incentives, like Dina mentioned, that's really helped the agents. And as head of sales, my main role was obviously to touch base with all the different agents that we work with globally, and see how their markets have been affected or how they've been kind of navigating their way through it. So, as you know, Lynn, I mean, each market is really, really different, and each student profile is also really different. For example, a student from Russia would be very different from a student from, for example, Italy. And then Europe is quite different from Asia. So, I mean, I've been really trying to touch base with all the different partners we work with, because as I said, we've got a great global network. And then to use that network, I've been really trying to touch base and see what the agents need, because on one hand, yes, we can provide discounts and offers, but we really wanted to listen to what the agents needed on their side, So a lot of the feedback was we need flexibility. We need a bit more flexibility in terms of payment dates. And then we really listened to what they need. So I think that was really important,
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It's very important to listen to what agent needs. This is why we recently launched our ISEF virtual reality, so that there's a link on our website. Then students can see communal areas and studios in a virtual reality interface, which is absolutely fantastic. And they can get an idea about accommodation even before booking, and to make an informed decision.
Sorry, Dinara, go ahead.
Yes. Yes, basically this virtual reality show, actually virtual reality helps a lot to see the room in as it looks like. And we are trying to keep in touch with our agents and through all channels at the moment.
Yeah, and Lynn, this kind of happened at a perfect time for Londonist, because obviously... Yeah, sorry, Lynn, I was just going to add, this happened at a perfect time for Londonist, because obviously a lot of students, before making a booking, they like to view the rooms, and then obviously due to social distancing, and then obviously due to restrictions in place by the government, they can't physically view the room. So with our virtual reality, that's really interactive. On that virtual reality, there's people speaking, they're talking about what we offer, and it couldn't have come at a better timing, because a lot of students are viewing this, and then they're getting a better idea than rather just looking at pictures.
Definitely, I agree. I mean, thankfully, we do have technology on our side. So I think another suggestion for anyone out there is try to make use of the technology that you have at hand, because it is what can help us survive during these times as well. So thinking of brighter days, Umang, I'm going to be asking you for now. Post-COVID, when everything is over, airports are open, and we can finally travel and see each other again. Any plans for Londonists? What are Londonists' plans after all of this is over?
Yeah, I'm always excited to speak about future plans. At Londonist, we always keep positive. We've got our new office coming up, so we've got a great expansion in London with our office. And then in terms of the actual business, we've actually launched our API. So the API, what API stands for those that don't know, is it's basically an application programming interface. So let me go into it. Basically, what agents and kind of what students want now, they want basically three things. For me personally, I think they want speed, speed of response. Secondly is reliability, and also is quality. So what this API kind of provides, I kind of see it as like a waiter. So when you're in a restaurant, for example, when you order a food, the waiter will come, the waiter will take it back to the kitchen, it will feed back what your order is, and then you'll get your food, right? So basically what the API in our sense does is basically, with agents, for example, they can basically see our live availability. So, for example, what's normally happening is the agents will get in touch with our salespeople and say, we want this room, is it available? And that's kind of how the industry's been running. But with an API, you can see live availability. Basically, why we opened the office in Shanghai was basically due to the time difference. They're running on a complete different time zone to us. And then we found that when we reply, they will be sleeping. So what the API does is basically, it removes all of those aspects and basically gives live availability both for the students and for the agents, because they can see directly what's available with our rooms, which is a great development post-COVID for us,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is something that is definitely necessary, because as you're saying, I mean, it becomes very time consuming if you have to wait back and forth contact to see whether it's available, then someone else may have sold the spot. So yeah, great idea. Well done for that. Dinara, anything else from your end? What are for Londonists?
Yes, we do believe that the future student choice is for student residents. And until the situation comes back to normal, there have been a discussion in the industry, as we said, regularly participating in the sessions and webinars. There has been discussion that student residence will be the first accommodation for students coming from overseas. So even the students who like to go and live with host families, they will be able to live first 2 weeks in student residence because they are more manageable in terms of safeguards and in terms of health and safety.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so thanks a lot.
So, Lynn, if I may just add, yeah, I would also add that actually, with our new website that I mentioned, we've got our new student support zone coming up. So, as we know, a lot of unis give great support to the students, and then so does Londonist. What that student zone will do, students will basically be able to log into their own student zone via our portal, and then they can book many different things. For example, if they want travel insurance, or if they've got a maintenance request, they can have everything fixed in one student zone. And that student zone is not only for like maintenance or other issues. It's, for example, student events. Or for us, the togetherness of the student society is so important now, keeping students together, keeping that morale high, and that student zone will really keep students together, and then that's what we got planned as well coming up.
Yeah, and I think it will be very necessary and more important, especially since we've all been so apart. In the future, I think this togetherness that you're speaking about will be hopefully even more important for everyone who's traveling and trying to learn languages or studying abroad. So thanks a lot for all of this information. I'm just going to ask you maybe for one final message or one final piece of advice that, Umang, you can start, and then Dinara, I'll come back to you as well. You can give to businesses out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think my final piece of advice is, just keep positive. The situation's getting getting better globally, and then obviously, I think you've got to keep in contact with all your clients, whoever you're working, whether it be students, agents. You've got to keep in constant contact with them, and also focus on what's happening now, but don't forget what's happening in the future. Don't lose your eye on what potentially is going to happen, say 6 months down the line, 2 months down the line. Keep very focused on what's happening, and also keep in touch with all your partners, because everyone's got very good information to share. So I think that's a key advice that I would share with everyone.
Thank you very much, Umang. And Dinara, what about you?
Yes, I agree with Umang. In that sense, it's really important at the moment to stay connected. And yes, this outbreak has the risks, but it also gives opportunities. For example, during the recent online conferences, we made a number of meaningful partnerships, and it's great to listen to what agents need and to share ideas and to stay connected, to share also a joint marketing campaign and have joint thinking during this time. And of course, staying positive in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. We agree. We also have been telling people to try and, as you're saying, plan ahead, because a better future will come for everyone. And on that positive note, I thank you both for your time and for sharing all of this information with us. Thank you, everyone who has been watching. We'll be sharing and resharing this video on pages. You're very welcome. And we'll also be sharing the contact details so that anyone who's interested to get in touch with Umang, Dinara, or Londonist as well as a whole, you'll be able to do that moving forward. Thanks a lot, and have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.